Joining us now, columnist, Fox News contributor, Jedediah Avila. Jedediah, good to have you here. Washington Free Beacon reporter, Lachlan Markay, great to have you here.
Thank you.
And former Reagan White House political director, Fox News political analyst, Ed Rollins. And I hope you can hear me there in New York. Yelling over
can hear you just fine. Thank
quite
you.
a crowd here. So
the Milwaukee Bucks would have had that crowd. They're doing real well.
You got it. I want to ask you tonight what you're expecting from these candidates. Some suggesting it's going to be all, banking accounts and, balancing everything out.
Well, I think they'll mix it up. I think the economy is the chief issue that people are concerned about right now. So I think this is a huge opportunity for people like Donald Trump. He has a great business record. For someone like Marco Rubio, who has a great story. They've been talking a lot about his debt, things like that. But he has the kind of story that can resonate with a lot of people. And also an opportunity for someone like Ben Carson, who people consider maybe he's not an economic genius. Maybe he hasn't been in business for years. He has this regular guy air about him. Can he come forward and be specific enough on policy with respect to the economy to make people believe that he's the right man for the job? Also, Jeb Bush, this is a make-it-or-break-it situation for him. He sits on a decent record. He has decent economic background. Can he take that record, pull it forward, and make people think, you know what, despite the fact that I may not be the most charismatic guy in the race, I can get the job done. But tonight is his night. He needs to make it happen tonight, or it's never going to happen for him.
You agree, Lachlan?
Yeah, I think I'm still waiting to see what Ted Cruz has in store for us. I think he's very good at laying out these very broad principles that a lot of people in the crowd will agree with. But when you get into economic policy, you start getting in the weeds. You get very wonky very quickly. Yeah. So I'm interested to see whether he can really break it down and defend his policies on that smaller level.
Yeah, you're exactly right on that. Arguably, Ted Cruz has the most detailed, complicated, at least to this point, proposal. And it's a rational one, but it is also a radical plan. Ed, Jedediah basically intimated that whatever happens here in terms of the wonk side of it, it's got to be an appeal to voters, and it's got to connect with voters, or it's a waste of everyone's time. What are your thoughts?
Well, having watched a lot of these over the years, 2 or 3 people will come out of this making favorable impressions. Obviously, Cruz did last time, and Rubio has on each of the debates. Trump obviously did the first debate. Didn't do as well last time. There's a lot of people here with a lot at stake tonight for the simple reason Fox deliberately and I think correctly bounced a couple of heavyweights off the stage. Christie and, I don't mean physical, but they are heavyweights, Christie and Huckabee. So the warning is there. If you don't do well in this debate, it's a kind of an elimination. It's a survival contest. So people like, obviously, Jeb Bush has to do well. But my sense is 3 or 4 people are going to come out of this, make impressions. The rest may get left by the wayside.
Yeah, and as we're looking on the screen there, as you were talking, Ed, the theater is filling up. Lots of folks starting to build. I just want to explain to the audience again, we are surrounded by folks in motion, and you can hear the excitement in their voices, even if it comes across as a modest roar. The idea that Trump is going to be talking about business. I mean, he has stepped square into the controversy over Starbucks. He said basically that he's throwing them out of one of his properties because they're coming with a red cup, and that if he's elected, you're going to be able to say Merry Christmas again. Now, that's arguably one heck of a business story, but it's so much more, and it does, I think, represent the opportunity that's available. Each of these candidates with imagination and some, as Trump would say, energy to go after it. What do you think?
Yeah, I think, if the moderators give him a chance to hit that, maybe he will. It's an easy issue to hit. It's very popular with Republican voters. But, I want to see candidates get deeper than that and really talk more about, their concrete plans, policy-wise. That's what I think voters here really want to hear. We didn't hear much of it, in the last debate, and I think a lot of people were very disappointed.
I understand what Lachlan's saying here, and I agree with you to a certain extent. But at the same time, I don't think many people can tell you what Barack Obama's tax plan was. I don't think many people can tell you what Mitt Romney's was, or certainly, John McCain's.
Yes.
You have to go back a ways.
Well, Lachlan's a bit of a policy wonk.
Sure.
Not everyone in the audience thinks like that. The way candidates get elected is that voters have to believe in them. Voters have to listen to what they say, hear some policy specifics for sure, but feel that that candidate is going to be able to get them a better job, is going going to be able to put more money on the table for them and their families, and is going to be able to do what Barack Obama has not been able to do thus far. So who can they believe in is the question.
Ed, let's go to you for the final word here tonight. What should we expect? What do you want?
Well, I think Trump will rise to the occasion. I think it's his forum because it is about the economy. I think Carson needs to be very careful tonight. This is not the place to go defend his. Listen, all Ben Carson should have said is, I went to Yale. I grew up in a tough environment. I became a great medical doctor, great brain surgeon. You don't have to be a brain surgeon to be president of the United States. But for him to go back and argue these points, and he'll destroy this thing. Jeb Bush has to rise to the occasion. Rubio and Cruz will do just fine. But I think that Jeb Bush, this is a night the big spotlight's going to be on him. If he doesn't do well, a lot of his donors are going to start shifting to other people.
All right. Ed Rollins, Jedediah Bila, Lachlan Markay, thank you very much. We'll